Despite all of the unique weapons in Blue Lock, a lot of characters actually share very similar or sometimes even identical weapons with other characters. One main weapon that is used frequently is a strong physique, which is given to a lot of characters in the series, but out of all of them, which of the characters has the strongest physique? So that's what I'll be doing today. I'll be going over every single character that has a strong physique as a weapon, and then ranking them based on how good their physique is. And for clarification, I'm talking about how strong their physique is in terms of like play. Now this video idea was requested by this guy here on my Egoist 4 ranking video, which I wanted to do more viewer requested content, so if you have any ideas, leave me your thoughts down below and I will probably turn it into a video. Now I am going to have to give a spoiler warning and just a heads up that this video will contain spoilers for up to chapter 245 of the Blue Lock manga and will not be including information released after the PXG vs Bastard Munchen match, so as long as you finish the Ubers match, you're all good. Mostly because as I'm writing this video, the Bastard Munchen vs PXG match hasn't come out, so yeah, we're just going off of the information that I have. Now I believe that I need to first identify which characters that we'll be covering in this video, as it only makes sense for the ranking. My process simply involves just looking at the Blue Lock manga and seeing which characters use their physique as a core part of their playstyle. And considering I had to reread all of the Blue Lock manga to make this video that I'm showing right here, which you really should go watch by the way, because it took me a hell of a long time, I'm pretty sure that I know what characters use their physique as part of their playstyle, so I think we're good. An example of a player who does this is Kunigami, as his physique is a leading part of his arsenal, and an example of a player who doesn't is Nico, as his physique isn't really important for his playstyle. And because of this criteria, the characters that I'll be ranking today include Kunigami, pre and post wildcard, Burū, Tokimitsu, Yoichi, Shiro, Aiku, Nue, Agi, Leo, Grim, and Nagi. Now if you're wondering why I'm including Leo or Nagi, both Leo and Nagi use their physiques more for their playstyle now due to Manshan City's training. And if you're asking, oh why not Chigiri then? Because Chigiri doesn't really have to go one-on-one against people in the same sense that someone like Kunigami does. He more or less just dashes around people with the ball. So I hope that kind of makes more sense for like clarification as to how I'm ranking each player, or like how I'm classifying which characters I'll be ranking for this video. And I also won't be including characters like Adam Blake, Dada Silva, Noah Noah, or Chris Prince, as their physiques are obviously all above those in Blue Lock. Alright, understand everything? Because I've done a lot of yapping, so are we good? Awesome, let's get into it. So starting off at our lowest being number 12, we have Kunigami pre-wildcard. Kunigami pre-wildcard was the first player that we saw with an insane physique, who was clearly stronger than Burū in the second selection, shown by the effectiveness of the anti-Burū defense that Kunigami had operated, completely disabling Burū's charging weapon and middle shot weapon. He was also nearly on par with Shiro, who is also a physically insane player, whose interference in the U20 match actually gave Aiku a 50-50 shot at stopping Rin and Flow as opposed to his 0% chance prior. However, as compared to every other player, he's definitely the weakest, as his pre-wildcard abilities cannot compare to anyone else's current abilities. Next we have Nue, the other U20 center back defender, at number 11. Nue's strength comes from his core, which allows him to easily shield players like Nagi, preventing him from trapping effectively. However, we don't have a lot to go off of in terms of positives, since he was shown being easily overpowered by Rin's countershift and wasn't able to stop Burū with help, so I gotta put him here. However, considering he is a U20 defender, I am putting him above Kunigami pre-wildcard, but that's debatable. After Nue comes Grim, the left midfielder at Bastard Munchen, at number 10. Grim is labeled as a tank-type dribbler who uses his brute physique to force his way through people. His physique is strong enough to be able to force himself through other professional club teams, which is no easy feat. However, due to the majority of the other players on this list replacing club members, it makes the most sense that they would be ranked higher than Grim in terms of physique. Because next up is Yoichi at number 9. Yoichi's biggest assistance when talking about his strength is his intense stamina, which easily allows for him to keep up with a player like Snuffy, even if he wasn't fully countering him. During the first selection, he was able to completely overpower Leo, but aside from that, we don't have any truly insane feats to put him above any of the other players on this list. It really is just his stamina and strong frame that allows for him to be able to do so well as a defensive player, but his physique is only truly supported by this immense stamina. When talking about strength, it just can't compare truthfully. Especially when trying to stop Burū, he as well as Yukimiya could not stop him from shooting. Now ranked number 8 we have Leo, the chameleon of Manshan City. Leo was previously able to replicate Nue's core strength during the U20 match. This same ability was able to stop Shiro. And we know this to be true as Shiro wasn't able to break free from this pressure and get an open shot due to Leo limiting his shooting angle, which is simply further proof of Leo's previous strength. And now after Manshan City's training, Leo has improved drastically in terms of overall strength due to the training of Chris Prince, someone with a literal perfect body as confirmed by Blue Lock stats. Meaning he knows what he's talking about. We also see him not only be able to completely shield the ball from Isagi without the use of a copy ability, but also block out another bastard defender. His physical stats also had to have improved in order to copy Rin's uncomfortable right-footed opposite spin shot, as well as the new Gen 11 passing, dribbling, and control skills of Sai, which is what I believe puts him above Grim. However, these stats alone aren't enough to beat the rest of the people on this list. Because next on the list at number 7, we have Nagi. Nagi is a character that I'm placing above Leo for several reasons. His overall build was already better than Leo's prior to going to Manchan City, and this power play shown in chapter 178 is an incredibly impressive feat. Leo may have been able to shield against Isagi and one bastard player, but Nagi was able to block 2 bastard players while only being on 1 foot here, as we can see. We also see him able to easily break past bastard players and even shoot while being held back by one. These feats to me rank him above Leo, but not above any of the other players on this list. Next up is the previous best defender in the series, Oliver Aiku, ranked number 6. Aiku's main weapon is his incredible physique, which allows for him to perform incredible feats of strength such as blocks, saves, and clears. He was able to completely overpower Shido during the U20 meet, which in itself is very impressive. Also, I don't care if you say that Shido was caught off guard. If you look at the panels before he gets slammed, Shido fought back, and his weapon is his insane flexibility, so this position here is not a problem for him. He got his ass kicked. Aiku was also able to completely body block Rin, which he did with little difficulty, as we see here. However, just like the others, he is incredibly strong. However, I just believe that the others on this list are stronger. Next up, we have BLUELOCK's Demon, Shido, at number 5. While Shido did get his ass knocked down by Aiku, I do believe that current Shido is stronger than Aiku in terms of physique. In chapter 245 of the BLUELOCK manga, we see that Shido was able to score a header while being held back by 2 Barca defenders. Now, while they were Barca defenders, they were still strong players nonetheless. Shido's playstyle has always been about moving as he pleases, and with his unpredictable shooting, he needs to have a strong physique in order to do shots like these, especially while being marked, which is what to me places him above Aiku. Next up, I have Agi ranked number 4. Now when you look at it, Agi is basically Aru if he worked on his strength and, was actually good. His physique is so strong that it allows for him to jump incredibly high while being marked, and perform kicks that seem nearly impossible to reach, yet somehow he does. He was also able to match up against post wildcard Kunigami. However, I believe that Kunigami is stronger, it's just that Agi had better ball control and longer limbs to help keep ball possession as opposed to Kunigami. I don't really have much to say on Agi either, besides the fact that I believe him to be stronger than Shido, simply due to his longer limbs and body. But now it's time for the top 3, and pulling into the 3rd spot, just like he did in the current new Egoist League rankings, we have Burū. Burū's physique is honestly the driving point behind his entire character. His kingly mindset is founded by a physique that lets him charge through multiple opponents at once, followed by a lightning dribble pattern that allows for him to devour every single ally and opponent in his way. Burū is definitely one of the strongest players, not only in terms of physique, but in terms of strikers entirely. He was able to score a sliding goal while being marked not only by Niue, but also by another defender, Darai, during the U20 match, and shoot while being pressured by both Raichi and Yukimiya in the Ubers match. However, when looking at the other 2 above him, it makes the most sense that he's ranked 3rd. Considering Burū during the 2nd selection couldn't overpower a pre-wildcard Kunigami, and against Tokimitsu, Burū couldn't do anything against him in relation to strength at all. So if the other 2 had trained their physiques as well, there'd be absolutely no way that he'd be able to beat them even at his current state. Now speaking of Tokimitsu, at number 2, guess who? That's right, it's Tokimitsu. Tokimitsu's overall muscle density is what makes him such a powerful player, even being labeled as a muscular bullet train by Isagi during the 2nd selection. In terms of strength, the only person we've ever seen overpower Tokimitsu was Adam Blake, and when looking at the matchups against Burū, he beat Burū in a power battle every single time that they matched up. Now, if Tokimitsu gained more confidence, there is no way that he wouldn't be number 1. However, my assumption is that currently he hasn't gained any more confidence, so he could be argued to be number 1, but I'm keeping him at number 2 just for that reason. Because ranked at number 1, we have post-wildcard Kunigami. The wildcard program was made to create someone with the same physique and attributes as Noa, at least on paper. Meaning on paper, Kunigami and Noa are the same in terms of physique. After returning from the wildcard and becoming a regular ambassador merchant for the new Egoist League, Kunigami is more noticeably able to leverage his physique by trapping the ball mid-air with his chest between 2 defenders and pushing past those defenders while holding the back so he could set up his own shots. His overall physique alone even allowed for him to keep up temporarily with Bachara and his new awakened dribble style. We also need to look at Kunigami's talk with Isagi about his ambidextrous shooting. Kunigami says that he was forced to develop ambidextrous shooting to survive in the wildcard. However, he was able to do it in such a short amount of time due to his previous physical attributes. Meaning if most normal people had attempted this, they wouldn't have been able to. Kunigami is the exception due to his incredible physique. Kunigami's physique is definitely the strongest in Blue Lock, even being acknowledged by Noa as a copy man, not simply because of his role in the wild card, but because of the results that were produced from it. Oh yeah, and he's also squatting 450 pounds, which, I mean, like, it's nothing. I could totally do it. It's that the camera fails every time I try to video it, and I can't do it if anyone's looking because I have stage fright, but I could totally do it. But that is just my ranking of the players' physiques in the Blue Lock series. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to be a little transparent with you. I had a little bit of trouble ranking these physiques, so I'm not completely locked in on all of my decisions here. So if you guys have a different opinion, leave it down in the comments so I can read it. As for the question of the video, if Blue Lock characters had an arm wrestle competition, who are you betting on? Leave me your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, like and subscribe for more content just like this.